couple months ago, I interviewed one of the richest self-made women in the entire world. Excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am, question for you.
Yeah.
Is this your Bentley?
Yes, it is.
And what do you do for a living out here in Miami to be able to afford a Bentley?
I'm an entrepreneur and an investor.
How long have you been a business owner?
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm no longer really a business owner. I sold it in 2023.
You sold a company?
I sold my company,
For
yeah.
how much?
For me, my equity shares were worth about $90 million.
$90 billion?
Yeah.
So how much was the total company sold for?
Well, the company was valued at the time a little over $300 million.
That video got over 30 million views across social media. That's Ann Mahlum. And she sold her business and made over $90 million in a single day. She's got a $100 million net worth, you guys. And I flew all the way out to Miami to go to her house and interview her to get the actual blueprint and the secret to get rich in today's world. So this video is about to be insane from start to finish. With that being said, let's get this video on the way. Guys, so we're going to be linking up with the 9-figure mogul Ann Mahlum very soon. But before we do that, look, I'm in one of the wealthiest parts of Miami right now in the design district to go around to find 8-figure, 9-figure billionaire entrepreneurs to figure out how they created their wealth in one of the richest cities in the entire world. Let's go see who we can find out here. Excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am, question for you. How old were you when you became a millionaire?
I know you!
Yeah?
I was 23.
Are you an entrepreneur?
Yes.
How long have you been a business owner?
6 years now?
Do you think I can interview you for a minute for the channel real quick? Is that cool?
Yes, I would love
Make it
to.
happen?
Let's do it.
Awesome. What was the turning point to becoming an entrepreneur?
I left Saudi Arabia when I was 18. My dad called me and he's like, I know you're 18, but I can't send you money anymore because his business was failing. He was also an entrepreneur. And when your back is against the wall, you always end up figuring it out. So I don't pray on anyone for their back to be against the wall, but it is probably the biggest blessing. Like when you have no way out, you make a way no matter what.
Did you hit rock bottom?
Yes, because I was literally 18, going to university. I had to work 2-3 jobs to provide for me and my family. As 18, for someone that lived in Saudi where the culture is women don't work, so suddenly I'm working all these jobs trying to figure out why I had even a broken English. So that's why I always tell women there's no reason why you couldn't make it in this life. Broken English, background this, family this, whatever your past is, take that, take all the lessons and use it to just make a lot of money.
What was the most amount of money that you made in a single year?
It'll be this year.
How much?
We're on track to make 20 million, me and my business partners.
Are you serious?
Yes.
20 mil?
I know. I know.
That's incredible. Like, how did you scale from a $1 to a $10 million company?
The most important thing is hire people that are better than you in your company. Because I don't know it all. And I know I don't know it all. I'm not the smartest. But you know what happens to the smartest people? They're always the brokest. Why? Because smart people, they're overthinking, overanalyzing. They need it to be perfect. And when you want something to be perfect, there's someone half your talent, half your luck, half your intelligence already making moves and making millions because they're faster. They're bolder. They figure it out along the way. Most people want to have all the plan before they move. Just move. You will figure everything in the doing. It's not in the thinking.
That's why they always say that the A students always end up working for the C students.
Yeah, I was a C student.
Did you have anybody that doubted you?
Everyone. Middle Eastern women are more like, just have kids, sit at home. That was the culture that I was in. Obedience is what I was taught my whole life. Just be obedient. Listen to the man. Like your little voice, be quiet. But the side of me that rebelled is what made me successful and free.
So you're good at selling?
Oh, if it's one thing to make you rich as a woman, sales, branding. You will never be broke. If you have a brand, you'll never be broke. Everyone's literally throwing opportunities at you. Like, please do this with me. Please speak here. Please sell this.
So give me $1 million worth of branding advice right here.
People are not nice anymore on social media. They don't give chances anymore. So if you want to blow up on social media and you want people to respect you, 2 things. Number 1, they're not going to give you a chance to make sure whatever you're saying in the first 3 seconds is going to trigger them. And sometimes that could be as something positive that you're going to say or negative. But the hook, the first 3 seconds, is more important than the video. If you look at my Instagram reels, the first 3 seconds is when people like. They don't even watch the full video. Then another thing is always giving perspective shifts. If you're someone that says something that is maybe controversial or maybe it's not the normal or what people are used to listening, if you give perspective shifts on why you believe whatever you believe, people are going to respect it, even if they don't believe it. And then you can charge high prices for whatever you're charging.
Some of the best branding advice that I ever heard was that the best personal brands are superheroes because they fundamentally stand for and against something. You have to be willing to die on that hill that you're making content.
You have to polarize.
Right.
You have to polarize.
Controversy is not a bad
now,
thing. Yeah.
You have to be hated. Look at the most successful people. Elon Musk hated, Trump hated, Andrew Tate hated, Kim Kardashian hated. But then there is that other side that people love them and adore them for whatever they do. Whether you like them or not, they're successful, they're billionaires for a reason.
And they're not rich, they're wealthy.
Yes. the more heat you can get as an entrepreneur, the more successful you're gonna get. If you don't want heat, you don't want the people talking about you, I think just working a job is nice.
Right, you got amazing advice. Hey, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. It was great to meet you.
So nice meeting you. Keep crushing it. One thing about you, your consistency is unheard of. And I love that. And I already know the billionaire status is happening because people our age, they're not doing it like that. They're not consistent. So I'm proud of you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. You guys, we just ran into a 26-year-old multimillionaire who's going to do $20 million this year at her business. She's from the Middle East, got her out here in Miami, and she just gave $1 million worth of game during that entire interview. Miami's going crazy right now. We got to keep this one rolling and go get another one, you guys. Come on. Excuse me, guys. Who's the richest person here?
I guess we both got
Who's the richest one here?
We both got a little bit.
How did you get rich?
Own one of the largest tanning salon franchises in the world.
What's that?
Own one of the largest tanning salon franchises in the world.
So you own tanning salons?
Yes, sir.
How many?
We're currently up to like 270.
So tanning salons made you rich?
Tanning salons make me wealthy, yes.
How wealthy? Like, what is your net worth?
I'll let you guess.
More than 10 mil?
Over that, yeah.
50?
A little over that.
More than 100 million?
A little over that.
Over $100 million?
Yes.
So if you lost everything tomorrow, could you make it all back?
Absolutely.
What would you do?
Honestly, if I lost everything and I had literally no capital to start with, but I did have my network, that's easy. I'd go raise money and basically do the same thing I'm doing now.
Which is what?
Commercial real estate and business.
Why tanning salons? Of any business you could have got into, why tanning
I
salons?
was 21, naive, bunch of white girls at the University of Arkansas where I was going to school. They always complained about tanning in Arkansas and saying that it just wasn't up to par with what was in Dallas. So I saw a gap in the market and decided to take advantage of it.
So how do you feel about haters?
Man, I don't pay attention to them. I've never met anybody who's doing better than me that hates on me.
As someone who's worth over $100 million, what is the best financial advice you could give to the younger generation?
I have a Rolls Royce. You know what that stands for?
Rolls Royce?
Yeah.
What?
Recurring revenue. Focus on recurring revenue. Everything in our lives in the next 10 years, it's already shifted that way, but everything in our lives in the next 10 years is going to be on a recurring revenue model. So from, our car wash is on recurring revenue, there's our dog food is on recurring revenue, our medicine, Netflix, gym, our tanning salon, every single thing is on recurring revenue. So focus on anything that you can make recurring revenue from. That's where the money's at.
What was the number one book that changed your life?
The E-Myth. With the E-Myth, it talks about acting as if you have, 500 locations even when you have one. So we built systems and processes in place for a long time before we ever expanded. So whenever it came time to expand, it was like that.
Do you think somebody should start or buy a business in today's world?
I would buy a business, man. The opportunity is there. This thing called the silver tsunami where all these baby boomers are selling their business. Their kids either don't want it or they don't have kids that are, in a position to be able to take it, and they want to retire, so they want to sell their business. There's so many businesses for sale and not enough buyers. And a lot of these businesses are boring businesses. So everybody wants to have a clothing brand. Everybody wants to have a restaurant. Those are not businesses that are going to make you real money. There's, it's maybe 1% or less than 1% are actually make real money from that. But the business, the pest control guy, the HVAC company, all those people are making real money and nobody wants those businesses. So go find you a boring business from somebody who's looking to retire. You could probably even get preferable financing through owner's financing and things like that. So even if you don't have money, they're still willing to take the risk, and that person is financing you.
So if you don't have money, how exactly would you buy that business?
I would owner's finance it. That's how I got my first business. I owner's financed it. I didn't have money.
How do you feel about AI?
I love AI. I think that any person that wants to be in the workforce in the next 10 years needs to learn how to utilize AI.
Are you using AI in all your businesses?
Absolutely. A lot of people are scared of AI because they think that AI is going to replace the worker. It's not going to replace the worker. What AI is going to do is AI is going to make the worker more efficient. So essentially, if you needed 50 people to run a certain department, you might only need 25. So it does make it more efficient, which therefore does make it to where you need less workers. But having a more highly skilled and more effective workforce is ultimately going to be better for everybody.
Have you seen this before?
No. Oh yeah, actually, yeah.
It's called
transcribed.
It's called Plot AI. It records all the meetings, all the conversations. I've never seen anything like it before.
Yeah,
it is insane.
Actually, I want one of those. It's like a personal assistant, basically.
Yes, no, it's game changing.
Yeah,
AI is insane.
I agree.
You got amazing advice, my friend. Thank you so much for your time, man. I
Hey,
appreciate
good seeing you again,
I
my
appreciate
brother.
you. So my guy got rich. I mean, wealthy off of tanning salons. But you saw that I had to show him what we just got from Plot AI. Guys, AI is the future. And if you're not using it now every day, you're gonna get left behind. And like I was telling him, guys, this thing records all of my calls, all of my meetings, and sends me a direct summary right after and transcribes it perfectly. See, taking notes during a meeting is a productivity killer. You miss what's happening now because you're too busy trying to just write everything down. So it distracts you and makes you less engaged with the people you're meeting with. That's why I use Plot. It's a sleek device that literally takes my notes for me. It's perfect for in-person meetings and doesn't drain your phone battery if you're trying to record. Plot has an app that gives you everything you need. A full transcript, action items, and smart summaries in minutes. So there's no more scribbling. There's no more, wait, what did they say again? It's literally like like having a second brain that's organized, never distracted, and always on. So if you're an entrepreneur, an executive, a leader, or anyone who runs meetings and conversations, this is your unfair advantage. Don't just show up to meetings, start owning them. So Hard Knocks family, click the link below right now to have a look. Use my code PLD22 and receive a 22% discount for shopping season. But with that being said, let's get back to the video. Excuse me, sir. How did you get rich? Hey, real quick, for 1 minute. Real quick, for the younger generation.
Podcast, by the way.
Yeah?
I love what you're doing.
What's your name?
Mike Jagger.
And what line of business are you in?
Real estate developer.
Developer, commercial, residential, what are you doing?
Industrial multi-res.
Industrial. Nobody talks about that. Why is that such a good business to get into right now? Give me some game.
Listen, COVID, if anything, exploded the industrial market. What happened during COVID? Everybody's getting packages delivered to their house. Where do these packages come from? Warehouses, right? Distribution centers.
Yeah.
So that's something that I opened up with my partner just before COVID, September 2019.
So were you always really good at seeing opportunities before everybody else got into the market?
I was working for a developer and my partner was working for my direct competitor for about 10 years. And we said, you know what, time to take a risk, go on our own. Mortgaged everything we had, put it all into the business, and fortunately for us, it was a great success.
So you weren't afraid of risk?
Everybody's a little bit afraid.
Yeah.
You just got to go for it.
But what's the biggest risk you took? Was it going all in on the company?
Absolutely. Mortgaged every last thing we had. Our homes, credit lines, credit cards, put it all in. Fortunately for us, it succeeded.
Did you come from a lot of money?
No, man. No, I worked for my dad. He was doing all right. Went into real estate and had to sell everything I had, moved into 1.5. Unfortunately for me, it was a chance worth taking.
What was the most amount of money that you made in a single year?
So I'll tell you this. We started the company in 2019. Today, the company's worth a little over $4 billion.
Are you a billionaire? are you a billionaire?
I do all right. I do all right.
So you're a billionaire.
I'm able to take care of my kids today.
Congratulations,
Thank you, man. Really, really appreciate it. You guys doing a great job.
What is the secret to scaling out to a multi-billion dollar
You know what?
company?
Never be satisfied. Keep taking risks. Keep going for it.
Do you think entrepreneurs, the reason why they struggle is because they get too comfortable and everybody comes and gasses them up?
You know, the one thing I suggest, or the one opinion I have, if you come from money, it's probably a downfall. You got to be willing to take risks. You got to be willing to go forward. You got to be willing to see opportunities. And when you don't have anything, you have drive.
Did you ever have anybody that doubted you when you were coming up?
Everybody, even family. Leaving a stable job to risk it all and to move into 1.5. I just got married. My daughter was a month old. Thought I was crazy. So I think the biggest people who doubt you are the ones that are closest to you.
It's crazy how that works.
Yeah, absolutely. And everybody wants you to succeed, but never more than them. That's what I see. That's what I hear, and it's true.
Do you need a lot of money to get into real estate today?
No. You need to have people that believe in you. You need to be able to take risks. You have to have people with the same vision as you do. We found investors that understood what we're aiming for, and they believed in us. You always got to think what you can do for them. You consider them like your own kids, your own family. Make them a lot of money, and then they'll be behind you.
Now I need you to give me a secret right here. What's the best city to buy real estate in today's world that nobody talks about?
So I'm from Canada, I'm from Montreal, but I love Miami.
You like Miami?
We're looking for opportunities in Miami. We're looking
Why?
for opportunities.
Is it growing or what?
Population, right? And with the multi-res business, we see huge opportunities of people are going to be running away from condos, from owning to renting, just because liquidity. People don't have that much of it, so you got to rent.
You got amazing advice, sir.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you so much. This was a beautiful
Congrats,
interview.
man. I really
appreciate you,
appreciate what you're
I
doing,
appreciate you, man.
man.
Thank you so much. Real quick, sir. Is it possible? Could I get your contact? Is that okay? Awesome. Guys, the time has now come. We're about to go link up with one of the richest self-made women in the entire world, Ann Mahlum, who sold her company and made $90 million in a single day to herself. Not the business, that's what she made in a single day. We're about to be figuring out the secrets to what it takes to build a multi-9-figure business and how you can get rich just like her in today's world. Let's go link up with the business legend and go see what she has to say. All right, you guys, we just got to Ann Mahlum's house out here in Miami, Florida, and it's safe to say that she lives out an absolute compound out here. This is one of the craziest homes I've ever seen in my entire life, but I'm gonna be getting the exact secrets from her on what it takes to really get rich in today's world and build a company that's able to sell for hundreds of millions of dollars. So let's go meet up with her right now. Ed, how's it going? It's great to see you.
Good to see you. This is Ruby.
What's up, Ruby? How are you?
She has to check you out. Good
So great to see you. Great to see you. Thank you for having us back out here.
Of course, yeah. Thanks for coming out.
We had to do it again,
Okay.
right? That last interview, I was telling them got over 30 million views online.
Oh, that's amazing.
They loved it. They loved you. I mean, you made $90 million in one day.
It's true. I mean, it took, you know, as you say, you get like a wire one day, but that was 9.5 years in the making. So.
Take us back to that day before we get into the game right here.
Yeah.
What was that day like when you sold your company, it exited for hundreds of millions, and you being, you know, the founder of it, you know, you made $100 million in a day off of that.
You know, it honestly didn't feel fake. It felt real. Like I knew that day was coming, and I knew the value that I created, and so it felt like, yeah, this is my moment, and I did what I said I was going to do. So it felt really like awesome.
I love it. Now I have one rule for this interview.
Yeah.
No holding back.
Okay.
We're gonna give them the secrets on what it takes to become wealthy in today's world. Can we make that happen?
Yeah, we can do that. I'll tell you everything I know. I want everybody to be rich. I always tell my friends I need them to make more money so they can pay for shit.
Let's get right into it. Who am I here with today?
Hi, I'm Ann Mahlum. Nice to see you again, James.
And for those that don't know, What was your business?
My business was Solid Core.
Talk to me about, you were a pioneer in the fitness boutique industry. Where did that concept originate from? How did you ultimately come up with this idea?
You know, I feel like both Solid Core and Back on My Feet, the nonprofit I started, I felt like my ability as an entrepreneur to be successful was finding the things before people found them. I'm not like crazy book smart. Like, I also need to be really passionate about something. So when I tried a Pilates class, I was like, oh my God, nobody knows about this. Nobody's built a big brand around this. Nobody's built community. Like, that's what I know how to do. So I felt like that's a game I can win. And so getting in super early, there was pros and cons, right? The pros were I was in super early, and the cons were nobody knew like how to explain this thing. It wasn't really Pilates. It wasn't strength training. And so our tagline became, this is the hardest workout you never heard of. So that got people interest. They started coming in. You were so sore the next day. And so you had to go tell all your friends. And we never spent a dime on marketing for the first 4 years of Solid Core because people just had to tell everybody that they knew about the business.
Were you ever afraid of competition?
No, everybody should be afraid of me if I come in your space. But like, I like to win, right? So if I'm going to do something, when I started Solid Core, I never set out to do just one studio. Like the first day I opened, I'm like, I'm going to build an empire. And even when COVID hit, it was like, I'm here for it. Like, I don't mind this challenge. I don't know what this is, but this pandemic virus isn't going to take this from me. It was just figuring out what I needed to focus on during that time to come out on the other side.
What was the one thing you did differently from 99% of other entrepreneurs?
Well, I think I'll tell you two things. One, I created a North Star. So from the very beginning, I knew what my end game was. I was going to open 100 studios. So when opportunities were coming up along the way to franchise, someone wanted to buy my business when I had 10 studios, I was very clear on what I was going out to do. And so having that clear sight of path, I never got distracted. So that's one thing. Two, I wanted it bad enough. Like a lot of people want it, but they don't want it bad enough. And three, everybody always says, oh my God, Ann, you must have sacrificed so much. And I really didn't feel like I sacrificed anything. I loved building that company. I loved creating a company that was making people's lives happier and healthier. So I was getting this positive feedback loop on a consistent basis. So if you're going to go into business and be an entrepreneur, you have to find something that fills you up, that you feel authentically connected to, that you're going to want to work on it even through a 2-year pandemic.
Do you think everybody's built for entrepreneurship?
No, I don't. I'm sorry, and that may be controversial, but I don't. I think all of the great entrepreneurs who really make it, right? And you can start a business and maybe, have that for a few years, but I mean the real entrepreneurs, I think that they have something to prove. I think they want to win worse than anybody else out there. And I think they have found something that they feel is their footprint on the world. Like building Solid Core and even building Back on My Feet, the nonprofit, I felt like I was enhancing people's lives, and that was really motivating for me. Like if I was making desks or furniture or something like that, I just wouldn't have been a great entrepreneur. Like it wasn't about the money for me. It was always about the impact, knowing if I did a really good job and created value for people, the payday would be there.
Was there somebody close to you that ever doubted you when you were coming up?
I mean, so many people, of course. And I think people doubt you because they love you and they want to protect you. They don't want to see you fail. They want you to take a secure path. Like when I started my nonprofit, right, this wasn't to make money at all, but I had a negative net worth, and I had to negotiate with my landlord. I got my landlord to give me 2 months free rent because I wanted to start this nonprofit to help the homeless. My dad was concerned for my safety. Everybody was just like, this is not going to work, like it's admirable that you want to help people through this running club, and even Solid Core, it's like 90% of gyms fail. Like, what are you doing? You're making the wrong move. So I do think people try to do it out of protection, but it lands as like, you're doubting me. And like I said, I didn't pick things that weren't relevant to my skill sets. It was lining the skill sets up with the business that I felt I had the special sauce to really make a big business out of it. So, choosing something where you can play a game that you can win, I think is really a key component of being successful in entrepreneurship.
Now, you're worth over $100 million. Where do you invest your money? Where do the wealthiest people put their money?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm in wealth preservation mode, not too much wealth creation mode, but I still have a decent risk tolerance. So I would say I have about 50% of my money in public equities, and I am an individual stock picker. Yes, I have ETFs, but I think I have over $10 million of NVIDIA. Like, I am in the AI game.
So I need a secret right here. What's the number one most underrated thing nobody's talking about to get into right now?
I mean, listen, I still think the AI game is early. I think Palantir is early. I still think NVIDIA is early. I mean, some of these bulls have 2030 for NVIDIA being a stock price of $800. It's $152 today. Like, I still think if you're not investing in AI, you're going to look back and kick yourself. So I like public equities.
What do you mean by public equities? Is that just like in the stock market?
Yeah, public company, right? Public companies, right? Anybody who has any money can go get an account on a brokerage account like Fidelity. I use UBS as my as advisors. So I use their platform to buy and sell stocks, although I don't sell very many of them. So the thing about being wealthy that I'll also share is once you have money, James, you start to borrow and use leverage for anything else, right? So if I sell my stocks, I'm paying 20% if I kept them for over a year. And that's better than any kind of labor work from a tax perspective, but I don't want to pay 20%. So because I'm worth $100 million, UBS says, hey, Ann, you can have a $50 million line of credit with us. You can pull on it whenever you want. Well, I also negotiated my margin rate because I used to have my accounts with Goldman, and I left Goldman to go to UBS, and I said, but I want my margin rates to be lower than any other client that you have. And so I get to borrow money at like 5% right now, which is amazing. So I would rather pay 5% than sell my stocks and pay 20%. I don't have to pay any taxes on the money that I borrow. So if I can see an investment that I feel pretty confident that I'm going to make more than 5%, if I'm going to make double digits, I will borrow off the margin line and go make an investment in a startup or a private company or loan somebody money at a 12 to 15% interest rate.
So it's safe to say that wealthy people, they play a different game than everybody else.
Yeah, and frankly, it's a game that, I had negative net worth when I was 26, 27, and I hate when people say things like, I just don't understand money, or I never was taught that stuff. Listen, man, neither was I and a lot of other people, and I think it's, the only person who loses when you decide not to learn about money is you. Like, read a book, listen to a podcast. Yeah. These things are available to absolutely everybody. My nieces and nephews who are, 20, 19, and 23, they have like 50 grand in the stock market already, and they're constantly asking questions and learning and trying to figure out like how they can understand this game better because they don't want to work their whole life either.
If you could instill one money lesson into everybody around the world right now, what would that be?
Stop putting your money into a bank. All the bank does is takes your money and goes invest it in the stock market. They love when people think that it's so secure to keep your money in a savings account when you're making less than a half a point of interest on that. The bank says, thank you for the free money, and now we're going to go invest this in the stock market. So like, you should have very little in a bank. You should be putting it into the stock market, whether it's index funds. Again, if you don't know what that means, just please read and educate yourself, because everybody can learn this stuff, and you have a much wealthy future in front of you.
And they don't teach that in school, right?
I know. Yeah. And listen, capitalism doesn't work without a bottom.
Wow, that's a real game right there.
Yeah. Do you want to be in the bottom? I don't want to be in the bottom.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. So give me another lesson that the wealthy people do differently from everybody else. Like what separates rich from wealthy?
I mean, listen, I feel like at this point, like last week, for example, was a crazy week in the market. Since April 7th, when my account was at my low, I don't mind sharing like what my account was. My account was like at $49 million April 7th. My account is now back up to $64 million in public equities alone. And that's because the market is going to work its way back up. And so sometimes I look at my account and I'll be like, I just made like $1.2 million today, and I played volleyball most of the day. Like when your money makes money for you, like it wants to compound, it wants to procreate. And even like the best text when I get from my nephew of like, I made $2,400 in the market today. Like that takes them 2 weeks to make that if they're lucky at their age. So it's realizing that you have to stack your assets and you need to just let them continue to compound. And I feel like I'm cheating. One of my values is generosity. Like when I have a great month, like I'm giving away money, I'm making donations, I'm taking my friends places. And I think most importantly, I'm also just trying to educate as many of my friends as possible that like, I shouldn't have to pay for everything. You should learn this game also. And it doesn't matter if you're starting with $10,000, $1,000, you got to start somewhere. And that's whether, losing weight, getting in shape, like everybody has to have a day one.
Are you a good negotiator?
Yes, I'm a very good negotiator.
Give me your best negotiation advice as a $100 million entrepreneur.
One, you have to read the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I mentioned that on the last one, right? But you have to make people like you. And you make people like you for a few reasons. One, you say your name over and over again. I'm going to give you great eye contact. I'm going to make some jokes, and I'm going to make you really excited about backing me. Because again, I'm not like trying to get one by you. I believe in myself more than anybody, and it's my job to make you see that. So if you're a landlord and I'm trying to get you to say like, hey, let me like have first 6 months of free rent, even though I've only been around business for, a year, I would talk about my experience on Back on My Feet. I would get you to come try a workout. Again, I wanted to meet you in person so that you could look me in the eye and you could see my passion. So it's really getting someone to like you and believe in you, and that comes with a lot of confidence. So I would just walk into any one of these meetings and be able to articulate my vision and what I was doing and why I was the right person to do it.
And your last message to the younger generation: how can somebody become wealthy in today's world? How can somebody get FU money in today's world? What does it take?
You got to be an entrepreneur. So I'm going to say it again. You have to figure out what your special thing is that you know how to do better than like 95% of the population, right? And then you've got to figure out, how do I apply that to a business that needs the these skill sets and talents in order for it to be successful. And lastly, I do think you need to be super passionate about whatever that business is, because there are days that get long and boring, but like if you're excited about what you're building, you're not going to want to quit, and you have to enjoy the process. It's not just about, I mean, like I said, James, that day when I got that wire, that was exciting, but what made it all worth it is I felt like I made my money with pride and with integrity, and I loved like the whole journey. It was really rewarding.
You got amazing advice.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks.
you so much for
Thanks.
allowing us to come out. This
Thanks,
was
good to
amazing.
see you.
Guys, Ann just went insane. And this Miami video was one for the books. But I need you guys to like and subscribe for amazing content I've got coming every week, because I'm going all over the world to bring you guys direct access to multi-millionaire and billionaire entrepreneurs. But here's the thing, it doesn't stop there. See, I host live calls every week with the people that I interview. I literally give you direct access to speak directly to these people that I interview, where you can ask your questions to the people I interview and get mentored from them every single week. It's the #1 community for business owners in the entire world, and it's called the School of Mentors. To join, all you have to do is go down and click the link in the description of this video. I can't wait to see you on the inside. That being said, see you in the next video.